their program.
So here we go. The Big 12 champs versus the MAC champs, and we are underway here in the Austin Regional. Strike one to Isabella Pardo, the all-time leading hitter in Siena history. Now, less than a month ago, I mentioned for a moment earlier, Siena wasn't even sure if they were going to make the MAC Conference tournament. They had lost 6 in a row. They were 7-10 in conference play. They finished the season on an unbelievable tear, winning 11 of their last 12, including 4 games in 4 days at the MAC tourney to end up here in Austin. As that one gets away from Reese Atwood on a called strike 3. And even though it got away from Stewart, the initial batter, Isabella Pardo, called out. What a start to the game, and already Casey Bump wants an explanation.
Head coach Casey Bump coming to ask, because obviously Katie Stewart did secure the ball with her foot on the bag, but as Pardo ran through, it obviously knocked the ball out of Stewart's glove. The key was, though, that's a drop third strike. On the side view, you can tell Pardo doesn't foul the ball off at all, and so I don't know if she stood there because she thought she fouled it, but Reese Atwood just missing that drop ball from Mac Morgan.
Okay, so a little early drama in Austin here with the leadoff hitter, Isabella Pardo, who's still standing there over at first. As Reese Atwood and Mac Morgan look on from the circle. Today's umpire, Tracy Laycock, behind home plate, meeting with Ron Burkhart, Christopher Tahanika, and Philip Friels. Here's another look at.
When you can tell there, it doesn't hit the ball. It's well below that. Reese Atwood cutting across the bag, though, so Katie Stewart reaches. She does secure it there, but obviously as the contact with Pardo happens, the ball comes loose.
So she is ruled out number 1 here in the Austin Regional, as Isabella Pardo back in the dugout. And here is Chloe Cummings, lays down the bunt, Atwood on to first, and that one is called foul. What a start.
Well, there's a lot of nerves, excitement, energy going on here, but Chloe Cummings tries to bunt her way on. The ball actually came up and hit the bat again while she was still in the box. As you mentioned, home plate umpire Tracy Laycock really quick to call the foul ball on that one.
The starting defense for Texas, just about the usual starters for the Longhorns, except over at second, Leanne Good getting the start, the sophomore. We had seen Alyssa Washington in and out of the lineup the last few weeks, had dealt with an injury for a while, but it's Good getting the start. Texas comes into this one having outscored their opponents by 323 runs on the year. We know about their offense, but their pitching staff, top 10 in the nation, Cat, in ERA.
Well, their 5 arbs complement each other so well that it enables Coach White and Patty Ruth Taylor to mix and match pitchers and really keep offensive off balance. But you also have stars like Silali Gutierrez, who has gone the full 7 innings against quality opponents all year. Got complete game wins over Tennessee, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Just been able to do it all, and that has helped the ERA, but the staff combining has really been able to be a key for Texas.
A dribbler over to short. Vivi Martinez is there, 2 away here in the top of the first.
Oh, Mac Morgan, the junior, as you see, heavy drop ball, upper 60s, occasionally touch 70, but she wants that ball to drop a little bit in the zone. She'll use a little bit of a changeup. Coach White said she mixed that in at the Big 12 tournament, trying to get more comfortable with it. But his goal for her all year long was to utilize more bottom part of the zone. He felt like she got too many fly balls last year as a sophomore, which meant her drop ball was too elevated. So you'll see her work knee height and below majority of the time.
Facing Jocelyn Ulrich, who comes into this one with the 15th best batting average in the nation. And she takes strike one. Former JUCO All-American at Yavapai a few years ago. And she has just been a tremendous addition for the Saints. And a huge part of their record-setting success this year. But she's now behind 1-2 to Morgan.
Well, we talked about Morgan's Bulldog mentality, and she's just going right at the Saints right now. She's painting the corner, continuing to work ahead, so that way it's in her favor.
Does not catch the quarter. 2-2.
Well, you see there, she's working with Reese Atwood, trying to stretch the plate just a little bit. Looked pretty, but they got the river on that one.
This is the other side. Full count coming up.
Well, after going outside for 3 straight, Mac Morgan tries to come in. Oof, missed that one, probably by a little bit of an inch, not too far.
Ulrich just got a piece of that one. Mac Morgan 12-1 on the year for Texas.
Well, Mac Morgan is at her best when she gets both sides of the plate. So when she finally adjusts to that inner half against these lefties, watch out.
Got her. Mac Morgan strikes out 2 here in the top of the first inning. Longhorns offense.
Only splits game. She has 2 pitchers. She likes to use them. But the way Emont was throwing in the conference tournament, she just felt like she had to let her keep rolling. So she's going to roll right into regionals with her.
Ashton Maloney leading things off for a Texas offense that is #1 in the nation in batting average, hitting a program record 379. Texas also #3 in the country in scoring. Emont has a major challenge ahead of her today here in Austin. Emont threw every single pitch of the MAC tournament, 481 pitches in 72 hours.
That's unbelievable. When you talk about 4 games in that time frame, over 400 pitches, and your recovery time is not a lot. You're ending the night before and then going back to play the next morning early. Just, that's some stamina, and there's some guts in there.
Helped carry this team postseason, did not get Maloney to go around. Count even at 2.
Well, Maloney up at the top of the lineup. We saw her towards the bottom at the beginning part of the year, steadily just turning the lineup over. But Coach White likes how 2 strikes, 382 with 2 strikes.
Chopped over to short, bobbled by Cummings, and the leadoff hitter is aboard for Texas.
Well, this is why you have Ashton Maloney up top, because her speed forces defenses to rush. Cummings unable to glove that one. You see it roll into her chest. She knows she has to get rid of it fast, but you have to glove it for Maloney on base with the air.
Bunt popped up, unable to get to it is Emont. Everybody safe. Scott on at first. Maloney slides over to second. Texas in business early.
Well, Mia Scott goes to bunt, hangs in the air, which gives her time to get down the line. The play actually could have been at second base. Ashton Maloney had to hold up the way the bunt flew in the air. Easy to say you should dive for that, but as a pitcher, it's not always the easiest. Not used to it.
And the base is loaded for Texas as Martinez beats out that one, laying down the bunt. And guess who up to the plate with the bases loaded for Texas? Reese Atwood.
Well, Texas just really taking advantage of the Siena defense right now. Vivi Martinez ekes this one out, but another bunt single. Texas using small ball to load them up.
Reese Atwood, #1 in the nation in RBIs, #5 in home runs. The first player to win Big 12 Player of the Year since Taylor Thom did it a decade ago in 2014. Also recently named to the top 10 finalist list for National Player of the Year. And if you're Alyssa Emont, you have to be extremely careful. You're arguably the best hitter in the nation right now with the bases full. as she falls behind 3-0.
Well, the interesting part of Reese Atwood's climb into prominence has been the fact that it's only in her sophomore year. A lot of times you see that from a junior or a senior. They start setting those records. But Reese Atwood, after her freshman year, which saw her get hot in the second half, so she showed what her capabilities were in the second half, went to work in the offseason, got in the weight room, wanted to get stronger to up her power numbers, worked on her weaknesses, and it's really paid off.
And earns a bases loaded walk. Texas is on the board here in the Austin Regional. Maloney scores 1-0 Longhorns. So that is officially an RBI for Atwood. Now just 5 RBIs shy of tying the Big 12 single season record. And there is ball 1 to Katie Stewart. Stewart has had a phenomenal year. Remember the Big 12 all-freshman team? 12 home runs. That was a home run swing, but a miss.
Well, there you see Iman's going to go up and down in the zone and rise ball there. And a hitter's count, knowing that Katie Stewart is going to be aggressive because she's a power hitter, because she likes to hit. Don't get us wrong. She'll take her walks. But right now with bases loaded, trying to get more than 1 run on 1 swing of the bat. Good pitch by Iman.
Iman ahead 1-2 to the freshman. Mia Scott at third, Vivi Martinez at second, Reese Atwood at first. Texas with a couple of bunt singles and a walk so far. Stewart rips one, snared over at third by Parker. And they at least double up Texas. Swiping third at the last second. The Longhorns will have runners on the corners as Martinez moves on over. But a terrific play by Parker at third.
Well, Parker gets the line shot, and Mia Scott going hard off the bat. What you want her to score. The unfortunate double play on the hard line drive, but it's that throw to first. The attempt at the triple play, and that bobble over there allows Vivi Martinez to get herself 60 feet from scoring.
Close call. 2 away, 2 on for Jolie Mitchell, the transfer from Notre Dame. Well, if you're Alyssa Iman and the Siena Saints, if you can get at allowing just 1 run, that is a major victory. As Texas had the bases loaded with no outs.
That'll be some momentum. Coming in, the first regional appearance in program. First time they're playing a #1 seeded team, the emotions, the nerves, they're all getting really, really high, and you have to have time for that to settle down. And it takes a little bit. Everyone the first time has that adrenaline and those butterflies.
There is strike 1 to Jolie Mitchell. Mitchell hitting .378 this season in her first year with the Longhorns. She's driven in 31. 2-2, runner is going. Atwood caught in a bit of a run down there. Let her head back to first, and Martinez will head back to third. Siena avoiding, allowing Martinez to score, and keeping Atwood back at first as well.
Well, Texas trying to see if they can get Siena to maybe make a missed throw. If they go after Reese Atwood too hard, can Vivi Martinez break? Really smart defense right there by Giampolo, just to walk Reese back and not overdo it.
There's an inning-ending strikeout for Alyssa Iman against Mac Morgan, who struck out 2 in the first inning, Kat.
Well, Mac Morgan was in command in the first inning, attacking Siena early and often, was able to really control the strike zone. Siena's going to have to adjust, as we see there, first pitch swinging from Peterson, to the fact that Mac Morgan is throwing that drop ball on the outside quite often for the first pitch.
Over to first, Stewart is there. 1 away. It was at this time last year that Mac Morgan was part of the first combined no-hitter in Texas postseason history, as the Longhorns no-hit Seton Hall in the 2023 regionals. She has retired the first 4 she has faced here in the 2024 regional.
Well, Coach White just really likes the mentality that Mac Morgan goes to work with, constantly describing her as the bulldog, just wants to go attack, and he likes the fact that the team can feed off that because of the way she approaches the game. Not surprised that she got the start here in game 1 of the regional.
Maddie Silber fouls one off. She's going to throw strikes, going to put the ball in play. He has said all along the defense has to be at. Morgan is pitching. A lot of ground balls induced. Meanwhile, for Siena, Maddie Silber watches the count go 2-1. Not only are they making their first appearance in NCAA postseason history, they're looking to become the first Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference team in 16 years to win an NCAA regional game. And for a team like this is already icing on the cake. Winning the conference tournament and turning things around in Casey Bump's 4th season as that one fouled off.
Looking at what Casey Bump has done in her 4-year career as head coach at Siena, it's impressive in the fact that they made their winningest season in 22, and then 23 they upped it even more, and now in 24 they up it again. And in a short time, she just continually has them leveling up. And part of that now is this postseason appearance.
There's another strikeout from Morgan, meanwhile. Struck out 3 of the first 5. She has faced 12 and 11 in the MAC. Again, going on that huge run late in the season, 33 wins, program record. A lot of the kids on this roster, not just from upstate New York, where this program is located. A lot of California kids, Arizona kids. Casey Bump has gone all over the nation to bring a lot of student athletes over to Loudonville, New York, and play for the Saints.
Well, and talking to her about, how do you go recruit these athletes? How do you sell coming up to New York and upstate New York? It's not like you're right at New York City where everyone thinks the bright lights and the city that never sleeps. And she said, you know what, you get them on campus, the school and the campus sells itself. I don't have to do a lot. If they want to come be a big fish in a small pond, we're it for them.
Leanne Good retires Ashley Giampolo. Another 1-2-3 inning from Mat 2. Caden Henry, another bunt by a Longhorns batter, and it pays off. That's their 3rd of the game already.
Well, Texas has the highest batting average in the country, but we don't see 3 bunts for a base hit in a game very often. We already have 3 here in the first 2 innings. Caden Henry, great job putting that ball down. Getting the high bounce allows her to easily beat that one out. But Texas really taking advantage of Siena's defense, right now, forcing some action and forcing them to have to catch up to the speed that Texas possesses in this lineup.
All 3 Texas hits so far have been bunt singles. Here is Leanne Good, a sophomore out of San Antonio. And Henry can run over at first. That's an understatement. Led the Big 12 in stolen bases in her first year in a Longhorns uniform. 23 swipes on the season and has been caught just 3 times. That is a huge cut from Good for strike 2.
Well, Emont really using that rise ball against Texas in hitters count. Even that 1-1 count, using that when it could possibly put her behind.
Leanne Good had that great freshman season. Top 25 finalist for freshman of the year, hit .325. Been in and out of the lineup this year. Filling in at different positions. Hitting .254 on the season. Getting the start at second, Alyssa Washington missed 2 weeks with an injury. Came back in the Big 12 tournament. But Texas opting to go with Good today. Henry is going to throw on to second. There is stolen base number 24 on the season for the freshman. Now that'll be a walk anyways. So Texas for the 2nd straight inning with runners on first and second and no outs.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bella Dayton try to use the short game here as well to put 2 runners in scoring position, but more so because Texas is trying to force that issue against Siena right now.
You talk about a player who lives for this time of the year. Bella Dayton riding a 10-game hitting streak. There's so many memorable moments in the postseason. Looking to add to that list here in her final year of collegiate softball. Lays down the bunt. And fortunately for Texas, that drops foul.
Well, you see now Parker for Siena in a lot closer, expecting the bunt from these speedsters on Texas's roster.
Dayton to center field. Pardo tracking it and makes the grab on the run. Senior center fielder, converted shortstop with the grab.
That's the first ball. Texas has gotten out of the infield against Emont right now in just the second inning. Parker over at third did nab that hard hit line drive off the bat of Katie Stewart, but still was able to keep that in infield for the double play.
Ashton Maloney sends one into foul territory. And Maloney kind of finally getting the credit she deserves, named the All Big 12 first team. Hit .427 coming into this regional. That is a top 20 batting average in the nation.
Well, if you're a softball purist, in my opinion, you have to love the way Ashton Maloney hits .427.
That one past Cummings. Henry rounding third, and Texas will tack on another. It's a 2-0 Longhorns lead here in the second. Ashton Maloney with an RBI single.
Well, I was saying if you're a purist, you have to like how she does it. Here she just uses the ground, but she uses the ground so often. She has a power slap, she'll bunt, but she knows how to use her tools in the right situation, knowing she has speed on second with Henry. Just needed to get something through the infield, and she does that hard up the middle.
Mia Scott comes up with 2 on and 1 away. Scott dropped down a bunt single in the first inning. What an offensive force she's been during her 3 years on the 40 acres. Second best career batting average in program history.
Her impact on this program, the second that she stepped on the 40 acres, it was magnificent. 2 triples in her first home game, but at the same time, Coach White said she was going to be close to the next Janae Jefferson. He thought that he had an athlete of that type in Mia Scott, and she has definitely lived up to that bill. Plays differently than Janae, but has been able to be that consistent for Coach White and his staff.
Takes strike 2. Texas with 4 hits, all singles. Maloney and Atwood with RBIs so far. And Emont 1 ball away from potentially loading the bases. Scott drills one to right field. On the run, the grab is made by Fletcher. Out number 2.
Well, this pitch low in the zone, but Mia Scott drives it. Looks like it's going to get past Fletcher, but nice outstretched grab as she's on the run. Siena making some big plays with Texas threatening right now.
That's 2 really hard hit balls, one to third, that one to right. And the Saints have been able to grab 2 away for Vivi Martinez, who takes strike 1. Martinez coming off a huge series against Texas Tech a few weeks ago. Drove in 13 runs in that series. Texas averaging about 8 runs per game on the season, 3rd most in the country. 2-1.
I see Emont continues to try to use the outside corner against these lefties of Texas, but just missing a little bit too much, so they're constantly in the river. Gonna have to make that small adjustment so she can work both sides of the plate.
hitters count coming up to the sophomore. Iman up to 45 pitches. And a full count on the way. For Siena, just trying to stay within striking distance and not let this game get out of hand right here. Payoff pitch, 2-on-2 away. Martinez up the middle, snared by Cummings, throws home. Regardless, good scores. Texas goes up 3-0 here in the second. Well, the effort was there from Chloe Cummings, but just unable to make the play in time.
Well, Vivi Martinez just drives us up the middle. Cummings all stretched out, but the plus side is, even though she doesn't get good at home, that ball not getting through to the outfield does not allow Ashton Maloney to advance past second base. If that ball gets through to the grass with Maloney's speed, she's easily on third.
Here is Reese Atwood. And already we'll have a visit to the circle as Casey Bump heads out there.
Stewart behind her hit a hot shot right at Parker at the corner her first at bat, so her timing was pretty good against Emont as well. But at the same time, that conversation could have been, have no fear, let's go at her, make something happen.
Missed inside there. And the count will be 3-0. Mike White talked about how happy he's been with freshman Katie Stewart protecting Atwood in the lineup. If Atwood reaches here comes Katie Stewart. But there's strike one.
Well, interesting to me that Emont isn't using that curveball more often. That is her strike pitch. She threw it inside to get the full count on Vivi Martinez. Uses it here to get the first one on Reese Atwood.
I'm surprised she's going after it, considering she was behind 3-0 in the count.
I'm not surprised. It's early in the game, and you have to be able to establish that you aren't afraid. As soon as you show a hitter that you're afraid to pitch to them, they know they have the upper hand. You also now get the adrenaline and the emotions going of the hitter behind them.
Emont gets the best of that one. Atwood, the shallow center, and it's hauled in by GM Pope of the NCAA postseason across the college softball landscape. Talked about Siena here taking on Texas, one of just 3 teams in the postseason making their first appearance in program history in an NCAA regional. One of those other teams has already pulled off an upset today.
Well, yeah, the other 2 teams are Dayton and then Southeastern Louisiana, and Southeastern Louisiana upset Clemson 6-2. So not only their first appearance, but also a win in their first game of a postseason appearance of regional. So big first regional win for the Southeastern Louisiana Lions.
A convincing win by the sound of it.
Yeah, and they were up the whole game.
Mac Morgan so calmly handling that one in the circle. For out number 1. By the way, with 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, Mac Morgan already has the most strikeouts of her postseason career while in a Longhorns uniform. 3 through the first 2, and recording out number 1 of the 3rd inning a moment ago on the ground out. That's all it's been, ground outs and strikeouts for her so far.
Well, and you talk about that, and the swing and miss is not even really something Mac Morgan gets a ton of because she gets a lot of miss hits. But talking about the ground balls, the Division I softball ratio for a pitcher of batted balls put in play is 45.2%. So that's the D1 average. Mac Morgan's average is 70%.
Defense has got to be good.
The defense does have to be on their toes and ready to go with Mac Morgan. We've seen times this year where they have been absolutely unbelievable behind her and just basically like a vacuum every time she gets a ground ball, but she gets a lot of ground balls fed, especially to the middle infielders.
Ahead 0-2 here to Michaela Fletcher. Lays off that one. Fletcher, career .310 hitter. Mac Morgan, you can always tell her reaction after the umpire's call, whether she's pleased or not. Mike White has told us there's been times this year she's gotten frustrated by not getting that called strike 3 and has let it get to her. Not the case here. 2 away.
Well, we talked about it. The ground balls, the middle infielders, they're going to have to come get them, move through. But Vivi Martinez and Leanne Good and Alyssa Washington, even when she's out there, have been so good behind Mac Morgan this season.
There is the junior Mackenzie Swinson. No base runners so far for the Saints. Came in as a team hitting .270 on the year, averaging about 4.5 runs per contest.
Morgan showing a little up in the zone right there after being primarily down.
Count goes 1-2. Talk to Siena's head coach, Casey Bump, about this record-setting season and their first trip to the postseason here coming up after the break. Their squad trying to get back in this one, down by 3 to the #1 overall seed. Vivi Martinez. Another 1-2-3 inning recorded by Mac Morgan in the Texas defense. Coach Bump on the way here in a minute of your time. First of all, I want to say congratulations on a magical year so far. What was the message to your team heading into this postseason?
Thank you. You know, honestly, we've just stayed calm through the whole thing. They've been working hard all season, and I told them that they got to have fun and they got to get out there and work hard, and they did. And I mean, it's been an amazing ride, and we're going to keep it going.
Coach, you called time there in the top half or the bottom half of the second with Reese Atwood coming up to bat. What was the message to your pitcher in that moment?
Just to calm down, you know, throw your pitches. She's a great pitcher, and she can go at these batters, and, you know, that's what I wanted to tell her. Slow down and, you know, go right at them.
Coach, if you look behind you, it certainly looks like your team isn't too stressed.
Yeah.
So enjoy the weekend. Thank you.
Yes, I love them. Thank you.
The Siena Saints, winners of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Championship. It's very difficult to ask a question with a straight face when that's what's going on there. They're having fun here in Austin.
You saw the mask. I think she told us the hat has been glued together a few times, so they like to have fun there in the dugout. When you've played loose and fun all year.
Speaking of somebody playing loose, Katie Stewart, the freshman, sends one into the gap. That'll be a leadoff double to start things off here in the bottom of the third.
Well, Katie Stewart aggressive on the first pitch. This curveball has been a great pitch for Emont early in the game. Katie Stewart ready for that. Drives that just past Pardo out there in center field. The speed at which that ball gets to the fence out there is just incredible off the bat of the freshman.
First extra base hit of the day for Texas. Here comes Jolie Mitchell.
What I was trying to say, Alex, was the fact that if you've played loose and fun all year, you want your team to be able to continue that, because if they try to play different in this atmosphere, you're going to have a different ball club. And as a coach, you prepare all year for this and allowing them to be at their best at this time of year. And if that's loose and fun, you let it continue, even if it means green and gold masks behind you during an interview.
They said they've been having a good time. Said the University of Texas was kind enough to give them a tour of the University Hall of Fame. They also have 2 Siena alumni who live down here, so they took them all out to dinner at the Salt Lake last night. Nice little pregame meal the night before. And ready to go this weekend again, making their first appearance in an NCAA regional in program history. Texas, so far in all 3 innings, has had the first 2 batters reach.
It's gracious of Texas to extend the Southern hospitality prior to game day.
Once it's game day, all that is over with.
Yeah.
It's all business.
You know, how fun for a program like Siena, obviously have their own history, but to come to a program that, you know, nationally known, the athletic department the way it is, get to go through the Hall of Fame, the football stadium.
Some barbecue. You don't get
barbecue is completely different.
Barbecue in upstate New York, that's not exactly what they're known for.
In Salt Lake at that, you know, the Central Texas kind of trademark as to where you go take visitors. So they got to go out there a little bit in the beginning of the hill country, have some good barbecue.
Now trying to rally from a 3-run deficit. Meanwhile, Texas Looking to extend that lead as Henry sends one to left. And Swinson is there for out number 1. Texas with 3 runs off 6 hits. 5 of those 6 hits have been singles. Here is Leanne Good, who walked in the 2nd inning.
Well, you see Texas starting to get more aggressive. You talk about the 6 hits. 4 are off the first pitch that they've seen. A couple of those bunts, but Katie Stewart now with the double in this inning.
Strike 1 to Leanne Good. Alyssa Emont continues to battle out there in the circle against the 3rd highest scoring offense in the country. 2-1.
And I liked Coach Bump's message to her pitcher with Reese Atwood coming up to bat. Trust yourself in your pitches. You can compete with this team.
Leanne Good takes one to left field. That'll drop in for a base knock. And Texas with the bases loaded yet again today.
Good ahead in the count. This pitch just belt high on the inner half. And Good does a great job of just driving that to left field. Solid contact. Texas able to pass the bat here in the 3rd inning.
Here comes the player her teammates call postseason Bella. Swinging at the first pitch, drives it to center. Deep enough to probably bring home a run, and it does. The throw on to 3rd as Texas makes it a 4-0 lead. So Texas has used the long ball a lot this year, a lot of extra base hits. But so far today, an RBI off a sac fly, an RBI off a walk. There's a little small ball as well, scoring in a variety of ways. And I'll lead it by 4. Here's Ashton Maloney. The throw on to first in time to end the inning, but
season, it's a good opportunity for her to get out there. We have a lot of trust in Mac and thinks she can keep the ball on the ground, and we can play good defense behind her.
Coach, your offense is knocking on the door. What's the adjustment that has to be made for you guys to cash in with some of these runners on base?
Well, a bit unlucky in the first innings with a line driver, the 3rd baseman double play. That could have been a couple of runs easy. I think we're just chasing some pitches. Just a little frustrated that we're not swinging at some of the better pitches we're getting, and we're chasing some ones that we have to with 2 strikes.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Hook 'em.
Mike White. And every year there has been a postseason, obviously minus 2020 has made a super regional. We're looking to do that for the 14th straight season this year. Get the regional off to a good start for number 1 overall seeded Texas. Mac Morgan back out for inning number 4, and a swing and a miss from the leadoff hitter, Isabella Pardo, who struck out to begin the game.
Well, Mac Morgan now 8 of 10 with first pitch strikes. As we said, she just sets the tone in the circle. And have to like Coach White's decision in the fact she's an upperclassman. It's the first game of postseason. Let's go ahead and let an upperclassman lead the way.
1-1 to Pardo, chops one over to Mia Scott. That's a foul ball. Isabella Pardo has helped rebuild this program under Casey Bump. Senior has become the all-time leading hitter in program history. Arrived years ago as a shortstop. Not only switched the outfield, turned into a great center fielder. All-conference performer. He's made some highlight reel grabs this season. Crashing into the wall in center.
Well, an athlete out of California, which hotbed for softball recruiting, and you talk to Coach Bump, and she says, you know, we don't stay local. I create relationships with travel ball coaches all over. She has a handful from California, Arizona, a couple from New Mexico, of course, some from up in the Northeast where they are, even one from Bend, Oregon, but she's not afraid to go out and try to get the best regardless of what state they're in.
10 up, 10 down. Groundouts and strikeouts. That's been the story of the day for Mac Morgan And the Longhorns defense so far. Chloe Cummings coming up here with one away. And what adjustments does Siena have to make at the plate right now against Morgan?
Well, they made the adjustment after the first inning to start swinging first pitch because Mac Morgan was offering that first pitch over the plate. But now they have to figure out how they can stay through the drop ball. They're continuing to hit ground balls, but they have to get the barrel more under it to get some better contact. But again, Mac Morgan throws upper 60s with a heavy drop ball. Not sure that Siena really has seen a drop ball that is that heavy, which makes it hard to drive it through the infield.
There was the bunt at Cummings. And it results in strike two. And the second and final game today will feature the Big Ten champs, Northwestern, taking on the Northeast Conference champs, St. Francis. A little bit later on tonight here from McCombs Field in Austin. Cummings down the line, and Katie Stewart, the freshman, grabs that one. 2 away.
Well, Cummings trying to go down and get this drop ball. Tailing into foul territory there, but the freshman sticks with it. Line drive out number 2, and the defense protects this, backing up Mac Morgan.
Here is Jocelyn Ulrich, a .420. One of the best batting in the country. She takes strike one. Got incredible bat speed. It was clocked at over 70 miles an hour, and that was back in high school.
Well, a testament to her strength, too. You have to get that bat through the zone quick in order to have power, and that's just a strength number.
Made an immediate impact with the Saints a few years ago. Transferred over from Yavapai Junior College, was an All-American there, and immediately her first season with Siena as a top 5 season in program history in runs and walks. But trying to get something going here, stays alive. 2 strikes and 2 outs in the 4th.
Well, we talked about Pardo being from California and obviously Ulrich from New Mexico, but they're tougher than I am. I don't know that I could go up in the cold.
It's an adventure going cross country to upstate New York from warm places like New Mexico, Arizona, California. But Casey Bump has convinced a number of players to do that. It's paid off. They love the family atmosphere over at Siena. 2-2 chopped over to Martinez. Another ground out induced by Matt this weekend. Texas's bats starting to heat up a little bit now. Up 4-0. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. You heard Mike White mention when we talked to him, still trying to bring things open. Bases loaded numerous times. Obviously they have the lead, but looking for more here in the 4th.
They had a bit of bad luck in the line drive off the bat of Katie Stewart. A great play, but double play by Parker over there at third base. He just wants to see better pitch selection, is essentially what he told us. Be aggressive on pitches that they can drive versus waiting out in the bat.
Alyssa Iman at 70 pitches now. The bottom of the 4th. As Scott takes one to center, right at Pardo. What do you think of Iman's performance so far?
You know, it's been pretty good. She's thrown strikes good strikes when she's had to. She has worked behind in the count a little bit more than I think a pitching coach would be comfortable. But she's been able to come back. She got the big out of Reese Atwood with bases loaded. Really, other than the 2 line drives off the bat of Katie Stewart, avoided contact.
Just 1 extra base hit. That is all. The rest spread out. A lot of those goals. There is action in the bullpen. 5th-year senior Nicole Patilli warming up. We were told it was Patilli, but it's actually Haley Francois there. This one sent down the line and left, and that'll drop just foul.
Starting to find her groove with that screw ball in the outer half to these left-handed hitters. You see Vivi Martinez fouling that off. That little fan got a souvenir. Foul line drive. It was right over to her. I think it might have actually got her in the chest, but they've checked to make sure.
Got to be careful out there this weekend.
Well, those seats that are just past where the netting goes, you get some hard shots that are at that angle, so you have to be heads up.
Got to find some shade this weekend. It's going to be in the 90s here, especially for some of these teams from the Northeast.
Well, that's what showed the Northwestern fan. I said I would have bought an all-session pass, been in a tank top, ready to see the sun.
This one driven to deep center field and gone. Vivi Martinez leaves the yard. 5-0 Texas. First home run of the postseason for the Longhorns, and there's another souvenir for the fans here.
Well, Iman just offers this pitch up in the zone, but over the heart of the plate, and Vivi Martinez just absolutely crushes this ball dead center. Farthest part of this ballpark. Vivi Martinez, first postseason home run of the season.
Texas now with 79 homers on the year as Atwood gets hit. Reese Atwood has been hit, has walked and popped up. She's all right. She heads over to first. So that home run by Martinez, as we said, home run number 79 on the year for Texas. Second most in program history. They're 9 shy from tying the Texas single season record for home runs. One more look at that one. That's as close as you can get.
That's just barely past 220. Edged. You even saw Pardo thought she might have a chance at jumping into the wall and catching that one, but Martinez gets lift, just enough lift on it.
Adea Wallace, the freshman, takes over at first. Here's Katie Stewart. Doubled in the third inning. Well, if you're Texas, exactly the start for Mike White told us the season, don't change anything. Keep doing what made you successful all year long. Doing that so far. Wallace is going to throw on to second. The freshman steals base.
This is what Adela Wallace was brought in to do, is to, when she gets going, she is fast, easily able to get herself in scoring position there against Siena.
This one driven to deep left center on the right. Swinson. By the way, after that stolen base by Wallace, I think if Texas has this hard, they still have more than 80 stolen bases on the year. They're one homer away from having 80 home runs and more than 80 stolen bases on the season.
Well, and if you talk to Coach White, he'll say, I haven't had to run as much this year, and he hasn't. They've been able to ball and play and move runners without having him to give them the green light to go. But it doesn't mean he doesn't still push the envelope and put them in motion.
Pinch hitter due up for Texas now.
But that 80-80 stat, that just shows the power and the speed and why Texas scores the way they do. It's not one way or the other.
Alyssa Washington skies one to center on the run as Pardo makes the sliding grab. Isabella Pardo, the senior.
So much going on. It's hard to keep your eyes on everything, but
here in Austin, Texas up by 5. Alyssa Washington over at second for Leanne Good after pinch hitting for.
I'm going to say that in the fact they won, but Virginia over Miami of Ohio, and the surprise there, Miami of Ohio, best offensive team in the country when you talk about home runs, they got shut out.
I mean, they have some serious power hitters on that team. There's a swing and a miss. by Emma Peterson. Anything in particular you want to say about Mac's performance so far? Nobody can, it's you.
It's impeccable right now.
There you go. That's the perfect word.
Impeccably efficient. But it really is the reason that she got the nod, is the fact that she just goes right at hitter. She allows Texas to almost play more loose, but like shoulders down, not as much stress. You know you're going to get ground balls off the bats when Mac Morgan's in the circle. So all you have to worry about is throw. She doesn't put people on for free. You really know what you're getting when you put Mac Morgan in the circle.
And a number of defensive changes around her. We mentioned Washington taking over at second. Deanne Good moving into first, and Katie Stewart is Reese Atwood behind the plate. Maddie Silber, junior out of Virginia, about an hour north of Philadelphia. Take strike two. This Siena squad, we mentioned all their firsts as far as softball is concerned. They're the first Siena team in any sport to face a #1 ranked team in a decade. 2014, last time it happened. Making history all over the place. Trying to get something going here in the 5th inning now as Silber fouled one off.
It's such a cool experience for these athletes, being able to say they were the first team that made it to regionals, but all the returners now knowing, one, what it takes to get there, but two, being able to share that with the newcomers that come in next year and say, hey, we got a taste of this and we want it again, and having a goal to work towards. Sometimes when you've never been there, it's elusive, and so when you finally get there, you just want to keep tasting that and figure out how you can build to make that more of a reality as a dream.
2 away. They do have a variety of rally caps, hoping one of them pays off. The fireman's hat, the pink hat, the gold hat as well. They got it all going on.
Yeah, as I said, Coach told us one of those had to be, I'm going to assume it's the gold hat that's had to be glued back together a couple times.
Got the St. Bernard there, which is why they're called the Saints.
You gotta love the contingent that traveled down with them as well. There's the energy that they provide, and you can tell. I think there were a little bit in the first inning. Texas took a using small ball and forcing Siena to have to get comfortable on the field. But since then, even though they haven't found a way to break through, you've seen some adjustments against Mac Morgan, and they're continuing to fight.
It's going to be an experience they'll never forget weekend. After winning the MAC championship to get into this regional for the first time. 2-0 to Ashley Giampolo.
In 7 of 8 to get into the conference tournament. And then as the 6th seed, went ahead and won 4 games to get them here in Austin.
Backhanded by Washington on to first. Another ground out, another 1-2-3 frame. Onto the bottom of the inning. First inning, scored in every inning so far against the Siena Saints, and they lead it 5-0 as we move on to the bottom of the 5th. Caden Henry leading things off for Texas. 5 runs off 8 hits, no errors for the Longhorns. Henry dropped down a bunt single in the 2nd inning. Caden Henry, top 10 list, NCAA national freshman, along with pitcher T.
All 3 freshmen for Texas here this year could have been in that position. Katie Stewart had at the beginning of conference play, but
that is another bunt single by the Longhorns today. They have nearly a half dozen.
Well, talking to Coach White before the Big 12 tournament, he was concerned about small ball and Texas executing the bunts, but today they are on the game. If this stands, that will be 4th bunt single for Texas.
The umpires want to have a review of this one. There's another close play over at first. Again, we had that interesting play to start off the game with a drop third strike. The throw over to first was caught and then dropped, resulting eventually in an out. We have the challenge by Casey Bump. Another look.
I think that's too close to overturn again. Has to be conclusive evidence in order to overturn it. And I think there with his foot hitting the bag and when she has the ball secured.
And you can't at least in here trying to break the momentum that Texas has.
I think her foot to the front of the bag, but this is so key as to why you hit the front of the bag. If Caden Henry hits to the middle, to the back part of the bag, she's easily out here. So as a base runner, this is always why you want to hit the front of the bag to make that play look so bang bang. And again, the field in real time is so important because you have to be able to obviously overturn it.
They are done with the review. And the call stands. So there you go. Henry with the and the leadoff hitter has reached. And all but one inning for the Longhorns. Leanne Good walked in the second, singled in the third. Texas now with 9 hits on the day. Leanne Good, a player who's played 6 different positions throughout her first 2 years with the Longhorns. Has to be tough coming in and out of the starting lineup, off the bench sometimes, and expected to produce right away. Especially, I mean, you're stepping into a lineup like this. Mike White expects you to produce immediately as she skies one to center field. Pardo is there for the first out.
You hear the fans from Siena saying tag the.
And I believe they're saying that Henry, the freshman, left early.
No, they're
second.
Henry, as that ball went, that she touched second and started to round, and if she did, she had second on her. You can't just cut through. So they're saying that she touched second and would have had to touch it again to go back. Therefore, Siena, it's a double play.
You could hear touch second, and they did. So instead of 1-on-1 away, bases empty. 2 outs, Bella Dayton. There's a 2-out single up the middle. There's one more look of that last out. Bases.
Obviously was on the move as Lee put the ball in play. Well, from that angle, we can't tell if Henry touched, but if Henry looked like she rounded, she will have on her way back. Second base right there on top of it, so he obviously saw that she didn't retouch it to go back to first.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, and you see her cut right back in front of second base instead of going back around it. So base running miscue for Texas. Fortunately, cost them an out. Could have a runner in scoring position after Bella Dayton takes the first pitch up the middle.
Count on to Ashton Maloney, who drove in a run goal in the second inning. 1-2. Action continues. Nicole Patilli. Iman up over 90 pitches now.
We'll have to imagine see Patilli here in the 6th and 7th innings. Coach said that she does like games with them. They feed off of each other really well as Emont has good movement, goes up in the zone a little bit more. Patilli will stay down in the zone.
Maloney over to first. It's a foot race to the bag, and Maloney beats it out. Peterson couldn't get there in time.
And Peterson's giving no indication that she thought she beat her. But this is just the speed of Maloney. Pulls the ball. Someone get her foot there before Peterson got hers on the corner. Great hustle by Ashton Maloney.
So here is Mia Scott, Texas up 5-0. Takes ball one with 2 on and 2 away. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Texas in potential run rule territory.
Emont working up in the zone, trying to see if she can get another fly ball out off of Texas's bat. Pitchers whose distribution of balls in play is pretty even when you're talking about fly balls and ground balls, but today has been able to now secure 9 fly balls off the bat of Texas.
Yeah, there's another one on the run. GM Polo to make the grab.
All the energy they need.
15 up, 15 down. 8 is due up for Siena as we enter inning number 6. Diana Parker, team captain, brought a ton of postseason experience to this squad, immediately retired for out number 1.
I have to like the Siena swinging at the first pitch on Mac Morgan since the first inning. They just have not been able to barrel it up to get it through. That one of the more solid contacts off the bat with Parker there to Alyssa Washington. But Siena, not the only team who has struggled getting Mac Morgan out of the infield. It's a common theme when the junior is on her game.
And remember, she struck out 3 in the first 2 innings. That was the most for her in a uniform in the season. Doesn't have a strikeout since then, but has still been absolutely cruising. 1-0 to Michaela Fletcher, strike 1. So Scott charging in from third, ready for the bunt attempt.
If I was Siena, that's what I would try to do right now, is try to use some short game, force Texas's defense to have to throw on the run, come in and charge the ball harder, not ground balls right at the middle infielders. But that's also easier said than done against the drop ball of Mac Morgan.
Mac Morgan 30-5 in her Texas career. With the 1-2. Did she go around? Yes. Strikeout 4 on the Morgan.
Well, Morgan uses this drop ball on both sides of the plate, but you can see her let that run away, and Fletcher just with the check swing does go around. First strikeout for Mac Morgan.
And another flawless back the serve. Martinez Atwood. Katie 181 will hit the 1 in this inning. There's 97 on the day.
Well, Emont has done a really good job of being able to stop the in every inning, had a runner in scoring position every inning, and every inning only 1 run for the second, where she gave up 2, but she has really been tough. Situation starting to mount winning.
Behind 2-0 to Vivi Martinez. Emont with 1 strikeout, 3 walks. 4 of the 5 runs have been earned. And a 4-pitch walk. 6th.
I wonder here, Alex, if going up over 100, especially in this heat for Emont, is going to be a factor here. So there against Vivi Martinez, nothing close, and we did see Siena warm up 2 different pitchers earlier in this game.
For the Horns re-entering the game.
And they did mention they don't want her to throw every like she did in the conference tournament. But up to 100 now, getting ready to face Reese Atwood, who walked with the bases loaded in the first inning and was hit by a pitch in the fourth. Got another RBI for that bases loaded walk. Now leading the nation at 87 runs driven in on the year.
Good response pitch right there by Iman after walking Vivi Martinez on 4. Comes right back inside to challenge Reese Atwood.
Atwood with the base knock, her first of the day. 2 on for Texas.
Iman trying to use the inner half again. Just a little bit more over the plate. Reese Atwood drives that right past Cummings at shortstop. Gets herself her first hit of the ball game. Texas with another runner in scoring position.
Katie Stewart has already doubled off. Stewart just 2 RBIs away from tying the Texas season record for RBIs, and that was set a year ago by Vivi Martinez. 52. And Stewart missed a handful of.
Stewart out of the lineup the first 2 games in Houston. 1 or 2 of the games against Central Florida. Play, and so that was a big opportunity where she could have taken off, but unfortunately had to make a trip home.
Cummings is there for the first out.
Iman is just really good here in clutch situations for Siena. Every Texas is threatening, she's able to get some easy pop-ups for her defense to haul in, and that's due to her spin. When you have tight and fast spin on a ball, regardless of how lifted into the air, and right now Iman able to keep Texas from getting the big hit simply because of her spin.
Alyssa Washington having a year. Just want to ride to center. Pardo drifting over to make the grab for the second. Iman continues averaging per game. For Caden Henry. Henry's dropped down 2 bunt singles. Strike 1 from Iman.
I'm talking about Iman and her spin. Her fly ball to ground ball ratio is actually more ground ball, 4.8%. But so far in today's game, there really has only been 1 actual ground ball out. And that was Ashton Maloney to the shortstop Cummings in the 3rd inning.
Iman's ahead here, 0-2. 2 on, 2 away. It will be the top of the order due up for Siena once we hit the 7th. Henry with 2 of Texas's 12 hits on the day.
I believe the conversation post-game is going to be the 9 runners left on base for Texas, and Coach White talking about how important it is for them to be able to drive a few more of those in, make the adjustment to be able to get ground balls or line drives as opposed to the easy pop-ups.
Mike White looks on as Henry works the count even at 2. Don't forget, coming up at 5:30 Central, game number 2 of this regional, Northwestern and St. Francis. The winner of this one plays the winner of that one in the first of 3 games tomorrow. There is Northwest reigning and champ. And you're there. St. Francis in just a bit.
Let's go ahead.
Another 100-plus pitch outing. You mentioned the heat is starting to work. Tomorrow it's going to be even worse.
Well, in just general, the weather here is so much different than up there in upstate New York. So that's an adjustment in and of itself, even if you had a practice day yesterday.
At one point, Caden Henry was behind in the count 0-2. It's now a 3-2 count. One more ball will load the bases. The fans are out. Henry to center. Another fly out to Park. And here we go. 7th inning on the down to their last team down. Now facing Isabella Pardo to lead off the 7th.
Well, she has been in control from pitch 1, and that is why Coach White put her in the circle in this opening game of the regional. He knows the way to give Texas a jump start, and she has been magnificent.
Siena down to their last 2 outs. Another ground out induced. Mac. Texas defense held up their end of the bargain behind her. Looks like Siena will send up a pinch. Chloe Cummings. A Scoey, freshman out of Bend, Oregon.
Number 6, Tracy.
As a pitcher, did opportunities. Here in the 7th, Goey swing pitch. Morgan out away.
She can there too to make sure that ball is playable. That looked like it could have possibly gotten over her head. Got a little hop there from the junior. But 15 ground outs for Mac Morgan today.
With 2 outs, she will have to get through. Came with the 15th best batting average in the day. 2 against 1. Two-0 to Ulrich, and time is called. Stewart.
Well, this really just the second time in this game that Mac Morgan has been behind in the count. Both times quick to call her out. She does that herself a lot, just to give herself some extra seconds to breathe, pause, reset. Always by the junior and knowing herself and that she just needs that extra little time.
3-0 count. Seventh inning game.
Well, what anyone would love to see that special performance, but Matt, phenomenal performance thus far, looking out to secure what I'd call a really top.
Means you are still the only pitcher in Texas history to throw a perfect.
Mac Morgan.
Here is Emma Peterson. 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs. And there's ball 1 to Peterson.
Well, that's 5 balls now. Not trying to win the game with the pitch, just make your pitch.
Up the middle, Washington bobbles it, tosses to center. And there it is. Mac Morgan has the no-hitter. The first long win here in the Austin Regional, and she joins us now. Mac Morgan, congratulations on the win and the no-hitter. When did you become aware of the situation?
I knew I was doing pretty good throughout the game, but like not till after. Like I didn't think about it. I was just letting my defense work for me. And it was Leanne that came up to me after the game and was like, "You just threw a no-hitter."
Mac, talk about your defense and how solid they've been all year.
Oh, it's been solid. We've been putting in the work at practice. I'm sure pitchers are involved in helping that. And, our defense has been one of the points in the past strong suits.
What does it mean for you personally knowing, okay, you have the #1 seed in the nation, best team in the country, and they choose to send you out there to start their first game of the postseason?
You know, it's just about we have a staff, and when it's your turn to be in that mound, you go and deliver, and you do your job, and everyone's doing the postseason. That's what we've been working for.
About you, and can you explain that mentality? How early in your career did you learn that mentality?
I learned that mentality pretty early on, and Coach White's not the first one to call me that, but I've been called it before. But like the mentality is just like wanting to be in that position and wanting the ball and wanting to get the job done and be able to deliver for your defense.
All right, Mac, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Mac Morgan with the no-hitter, Texas with the 5-0 win coming up in just about a half hour. The Big Ten East champ St. Francis, the winner of that one. Texas in the first game was all double elimination. As we think here in Austin, but again, Texas with the 5-0 win over Siena. 5 runs off 12 hits, no errors for the Longhorns. 0-0-1 for Siena. For Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Stewart behind her hit a hot shot right at Parker at the corner, her first at bat. So her timing was pretty good against Emont as well. But at the same time, that conversation could have been, have no fear, let's go at her, make something happen.
Missed inside there. And the count will be 3-0. Mike White talked about how happy he's been with freshman Katie Stewart protecting Atwood in the lineup. If Atwood reaches here comes Katie Stewart. But there's strike one.
Well, interesting to me that Emont isn't using that curveball more often. That is her strike pitch. She threw it inside to get the full count on Vivi Martinez. Used it here to get the first one on Reese Atwood.
Surprised she's going after it, considering she was behind 3-0 in the count?
I'm not surprised. It's early in the game, and you have to be able to establish that you aren't afraid. As soon as you show a hitter that you're afraid to pitch to them, they know they have the upper hand. You also now get the adrenaline and the emotions going of the hitter behind them.
Emont gets the best of that one. Atwood, the shallow center, and it's hauled in by GM Poe.